Lemon for Love. Today, Mahmoud Ahmed is singing again, wailing out of Abebe's radio. Lemon for love! Lemon for love! Lemon, you are so sweet. His voice is long and stringy as a branch. It throws the lemon down at his girlfriend's feet. Lemon for love! Lemon, you are so tasty. If she picks it up, it means she will marry him. Now the chorus is shouting, oh, la, 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 clapping all its hands, stamping its 50 feet. Now Abebe's fingers are jumping and clicking, shoulders shaking, knees popping, because the girl in the song is beautiful as Makeda, queen of Sheba. And yes, she has bent to pick up the lemon. Mahmoud Ahmed, you must never stop singing. Your voice can make anything happen. It twists round my brain like the roots of a tree. It opens a fresh leaf in my heart. Mahmoud Ahmed, if I sit here by Abebe's window, will you throw my lemon for me? Nkwan dena matachu. How did I do? That means welcome. And thank you very much for coming. So many people have said, you know, gosh, it's raining and I'm not feeling well, I've got a cold, but you haven't. So thank you very much for coming. And thanks also to Emma, who should be, you know, just standing here for me to thank her. But anyway, she will be coming down in a while. The significance of tonight is that I think it's the first time there's ever been a reading of Ethiopian poetry, not only in Amharic, but also in English. And we're going to be, I suppose, mostly English, or maybe 60-40 or something like that, Amharic English tonight. Hopefully, most of it will be translated so that you won't be lost about what's happening. We've got a fantastic lineup. My friend Alimu is going to start. Then Abdi, the back, then McConnon. Where's McConnon? McConnon, there you are. And then we're very privileged tonight to have Tesfa Haymanot Tesfa, who's a wonderful singer. I've heard her on YouTube, but never in the flesh, so really looking forward to that. In the first half, we're going to read about 5 minutes each of our own poems. I've just read mine. And then Tesfa Haymanot will sing for us. Then we'll have a little break, and then we'll read other people's poetry, other Ethiopian poets' poetry, and some folk poetry. So the first reader tonight is Alimu. Alimu is a journalist and campaigner for democracy and human rights. Alimu has helped me enormously to read and, importantly, to translate some wonderful contemporary Ethiopian poets such as Boketu Seyum and Gemurao. He's also a wonderful poet himself, as you're going to hear. He writes passionately but with humour about politics and love. His poems have been published in the anthologies Forever Spoken and No Serenity Here, featuring 26 poets from 12 African countries. This is only Alimu's second time, I think, to recite his poems in English, so I'm really excited to hear him. Please welcome my friend Alimu Tabaja.
Thank you, Chris, for the introduction. The first one is entitled Greeting to the People of Europe. I'm inspired by the speech of Jomo Kenyatta, who says, when the missionaries arrived, the African had the land, and the missionary had the Bible. They taught us how to pray with our eyes closed. When we opened them, they had the land and we had the Bible. So one evening after watching the current migrant crisis and thinking of the root causes of the migration, I wrote this poem. And as I told you, it's entitled Greeting to the People of Europe. Over land and sea, your fathers came to Africa and unpacked Bibles by the thousand, instilled our ancestors with words of love. If someone slaps your right cheek, offer them your left cheek too. If someone takes your coat, let him take your trousers too. Now we, the children's of our ancestors, descendants of the words which your fathers left behind, having suffered at the hands of our own governments and the terrifying seas and the deserts, the sinking boats, the human traffickers and smugglers, having been wrapped up by coast guards. Here we are at last to knock at your front door, hoping you remember the good words your fathers preaching to ours. Hoping you let us watch the stories of our brothers and sisters perishing in the Mediterranean Sea and the Sahara Desert. The election victories presided by our lifetime prime ministers and presidents. The blessing message sent from Europe. The civil war waged in our destabilized countries. And that you let us be employed and pay tax and fund aid to the victims. Let all these be your kind gifts. Let all these be your kind gifts. በእንቅልፌ ያሸነፍኳት. I'm going to tell you what it means in English later on. በእንቅልፌ ያሸነፍኳት. ስንት እንዳልለመንኩኝ ስንት እንዳልደከምኩኝ እንዳላለች እምቢ በቁም እያለሁኝ አሸነፍኳትና ሌት እንደተኛሁኝ በእንቅልፌ እሺ ብላ ፍቅሬን አገኘሁኝ. I conquered in my sleep, as if I hadn't begged and begged, as if she hadn't told me no whenever I got up again and begged. But in my sleep at night, I was a god, 10-legged. In my sleep, my goddess said, okay, let us go.
Next reader is Abdi. So Abdi Bardon is originally from Somalia. So we've got you here under false pretenses. But actually, the southeast of Ethiopia is surrounded by Somalia, and there are millions of Ethiopians who are ethnically Somali. So basically, Abdi's agreed to be an honorary Ethiopian for tonight. By force. He's also a brilliant 26-year-old poet, lyricist, actor, and service manager who's already starred in a short movie called Mashup and in the television series The Bill. In Somalia as a boy, Abdi was badly injured by a car bomb. At the age of 10, he fled to the UK, not speaking a word of English. And I hope he'll tell us something about that amazing journey tonight. And in the way of these things, just a few years later, incredibly, he'd secured 9 top-grade GCSEs, 3 A-levels, and then went on to graduate from Westminster College. It's just incredible. Please welcome the amazing Abdi Bardon.
Oh, thank you. All right, Chris, so far, that's the best introduction I ever had in my life. I must say that. Okay, let's begin. Let me confess and let me feed you the best before the rest, because my happiness depends. I said, let me confess and let me feed you the best before the rest, because my happiness depends. I woke up this morning, it was raining. It was sad autumn day, the leaves are falling. They were falling slowly in the rain, like a rain of another kind, heavier but slower. But I believe that rain was my tears, because sometimes my teardrop getting bigger, getting longer like a river, but I cannot figure what am I crying for, brother, sister. Simmer, the definition of a winner. I look at myself in the mirror and I see my reflection. Damn. I see this boy looking back at me, begging for affection. Then I ask myself too many questions. Daddy, what did I do? I think mother gave a birth to a black curse, so what could be worse? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Abdushakur Bahaton III, and my poetry is a reflection of the life that I led and the life I live right now. My poetry, I am my own consultant, and my poetry is the outcome and the recommendation. Okay. The first poem called Home. I'm going back when I was born. I'm at home, but I feel like I'm far away. I look at the grass and gaze, sitting underneath a tree, counting the leaves just to pass the day. While the branches sway, living the farmer way, staring nice and cloudy days, but what can I say? That was my life. Come on, milk on white rice. I got beef with the nightlives, hungry hyenas with bright eyes that want to fight till the sunrise. On the other side, we are praying for good gates and better days rather than just politics and AKs that move in the crowds that just want to feel safe. So before the coffin closes, like the dusty foot of philosophers said, my people have the poetry in a form of potion that can move an ocean, that can move an ocean, that can move an ocean. That's home. Poverty is the name. Close your eyes and picture this. Poor, hungry, lonely children are crying. Rich kids smiling. Angry mothers cursing. Afraid of being outlasting. I'm sleeping and I see the hopeless not breathing. I'm screaming, give the hope as a helping hand. We need to understand that I am falling. I'm slipping. I'm losing. I see too many kids dying because they're starving. We all share this name and we all share this pain. Poverty is the name. We are all prisoners of this poverty, but we need to break free to survive. Poverty is like living in a world without windows, and the bourgeois see this life as simple. I decline to live with this name, but poverty will always going to be our name. That's poverty was the name. Second poem called The Dead Tree. When I was young, I saw a dead tree. I took a good look at his roots. They were dying slowly. I looked at his dead, dry leaves. They were falling slowly. I can still hear the bullets flying. I can still see my friends dying. I can hear hungry mothers crying. 26 years later, I realized that there's only one place you can find this dead tree. Subconsciously, I asked myself, where? A little voice said to me, hey, in the cemetery. Click, clack. When I woke up in the morning, before I brushed my teeth, I looked at myself in the mirror and I saw my reflection. I saw the dead tree again. That dead tree represented me and my people back home. We need to establish peace in our heart before we establish peace in the street of Mogadishu. Because peace, love, and freedom comes from within. Let's pray that peace will come one day. It's been a pleasure, thank you. And
thank you very much, Andy.
Till I come back again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next reader is Mekonnen Wadajane. He's a journalist and documentary filmmaker who runs his own YouTube channel. It's called Salamta London, which means greetings London. And of course he's a wonderful poet as well. Mekonnen Wadajane.
Thank you, Chris, for that undeserved introduction. I really don't like to call myself a poet. I'm a jack of all trades. I tried this, I tried that. Poetry is just my one way, preferred way of expressing myself and making a record of what I, what I've come across, my experiences. It's a shame I haven't prepared anything in English. I'll just give you the what is this all about. I've got a few poems, but they're not good because I need to translate them to you. The first short poetry is entitled Lekas Gaba Milo. Just feel, just get the feel. It is about the hair when it starts to recede and when it starts to get gray. I've been noticing around me before before I got to that stage. You know, I never paid attention to the white hair, and eventually, as the time came that I started graying, and then I started looking around. I said, somebody I saw gray. He was gray one day. I'll see him with the black hair the next day, and I was wondering. Then I said to myself, so shall I join the group? The club, and I started, trying to treat my hair the way, other people did, but my conscience didn't allow me. So I gave up on that one. The only people that accepted me the way I am are my two boys. They say, Dad, you are graceful the way you are, and I'm in it. The other thing in this word, thank you. The other thing in this poem, my people who can understand can understand. It's a sort of a pun. There is a one word, መርገፉን ሲያውጅ ነው. It's telling that it's going to fall. It is literally, it's about the hair, but that they start getting receding and getting gray is signaling that we are going to fall down. You are going to go back ashes to ashes. That is what it says. Let me read it. በስለታም መቀስ ተጎርዶ ተጎምዶ የመተሃራን ጥጥ የአውሮፓን በረዶ መስሎ እስከሚከመር ከራሴ ላይ ወርዶ ድሮ በሰው ራስ ተቆልሎ ሳየው አልፈራውም ነበር ከምንም አልቆጥረው ባለተራ ሆኜ ወረፋ ሲደርሰኝ መገርጣት ሲጀምር ጠጉሬ ተጉላልቶብኝ መካሪ ሰምቼ ወዝ ያወጣል ቢሉኝ ምኑንም እየቀባባሁኝ በሽታው ላይ ለቀው ሳባብለው ኖርኩኝ እጅ አለኝና አስመስሎ መኖር አወጣሁት ይፋ አሳየሁት ላገር ይልቅ የሚገርመው አስደንጋጩ ነገር ጥጡን ተሸክሜ መራመድ ሲጀምር መሳሳትም መጣ እየዋለ ያደር ለካስ ነጣ ጠጉር ገባ የሚለው የመርገፊያው ሰዓት መድረሱን ሲያውጅ ነው።
To read other people's poems, other Ethiopian poets' poems, and starting with this wonderful young poet called Boketu Seyum, who's probably the most famous poet. I was going to say young poet, but probably one of the most famous poets in Ethiopia at the moment. And he represented Ethiopia at Parnassus, which was a big international festival in 2012 for the Olympics. And he came for the first time. He'd never even been on a plane. He'd never been outside of Ethiopia. He'd never been on a plane, and he came to London. So we're going to read 4 or 5 poems of Boketu that we, Alimon and myself, have translated.
አልወጣም ተራራ ደመናን ልዳስስ ቀስተ ደመናውን ሽቅብ ልቀለብስ አልዋስም እኔ ካቡን ተክሌ ክንፍ ካቆም መሰላል እኔ መውጣት ሳስብ ሰማዩ ዝቅ ይላል
I won't climb a mountain. I won't climb a mountain to touch the clouds. I won't lift the frown of a rainbow into a smile. I won't borrow Tekla Hymenot's wings. I won't borrow Tekla Hymenot's wings or Jacob's ladder. When I want to climb, the sky come down to me. Right, this one I'm going to be brave. I'm going to read in Amharic. It's called In Search of Fat. Please suspend your critical Hassasasga. Elef Kasitoch, Ketano Yamokagu, Sagachan Yetede, Velosi Felogu, Bayashin Tuglaru, Bayatagatagu, Assaso, Bemutter, Besemai. Again you to Borch Hono, but Anso Galanai.
In search of fat, a multitude of thin people, all skin, call out like rag and bone men. Where is our fat? They ramage every mountain, stone and huddle, search in the soil, search in the sky, At last, they find it piled up on one man's belly.
Next we've got Abdi and Emma.
Oh, mother elephant, let us go to Yingati. Let us run to Yiha.
The son of hunters with their spears will not let us pass.
Let us go through Ussa. Let us run through Ullah. Let us go through Gissa. Then let us run to Gilla.
The Gala of Dido with their spears will not let us pass. The people of Ibachi with their spears will not let us pass.
We are trapped. We're in great trouble. Let us save ourselves by giving up one of our children. You are the female. I am the male. Together we can always produce others.
I will never give up my baby son. When lying down, he is like the fruit of a palm tree. When standing up, he is like a huge monument. I will never give up my baby son. Before being pierced with 55 spears, before I feel death approaching, I swear by the name of the sky god, I will never give up my son.
Oh, mother elephant, take our children and go. Sounds better if I die. My body will be used to decorate women. My skin will be used for remains of battle. I'll be used for sandals. I'll be used for armbands. I am a huge elephant.
I spent last week translating a poem by McConnon, which he didn't actually read for us tonight. So I'm going to read the English, if that's okay with you, McConnon.
Yes, with pleasure.
This is about reading other people's poems, so I feel I've got energy and time invested in this poem, so I'm going to read it. And I think it's a fantastic poem. It's called All of a Bird. In Amharic, Mulu Waf Baragin. Yeah? I'm not going to read it in Amharic, it's too long. Sorry. I could, but it's too long. All of a bird. If only I was a bird, I'd be able to take off into the air without buying a ticket, without a passport or a visa. No fuss, no flurry, flying off whenever I wish, paddling the air. With you sitting in a tree, if I wish it, and me building a bird's nest. I can rake the fields with my beak, if I wish it, gather the pickings and eat them. And if the middle country looks good to me, or if the border country looks better to me, highlands or lowlands, no matter at all, I can settle here, I can settle there. I can say whatever I think, no matter at all. And no one asks, do you belong here or do you there? Because now everything belongs to me and I belong to everyone. Equals in speech, equals in living. And I can talk all night, if I wish it, until dawn, and live in peace, with no fear of mischief or abuse, of having to flee my country and end up dissolving like a lump of salt. But to delight in the freshness of the air, and reside on the fresh green grass of my country, with my aging body resting its core. So, while the past is still with me, before my day is done, let me come to you, flying through the air, because I'd rather be all of a bird than only half of a man. The beautiful, multi-talented singer exhibited her art in Ethiopia and all over the UK, as well as providing two beautiful poetry book covers for the poet and translator Hubert Moore. She's performed her songs in the Festival Hall, at WOMAD and Rich Mix, and many other venues, in fact. On her website she writes, I'm living on our beautiful earth to admire words, melody, colours and nature which give me inspiration to be creative. Please welcome the wonderful, colourful Haymanot Tesfa.
Ramana